Hello, welcome to the hen house. This is the Angry Cock speaking. Hey, the old Angry Cock. A big thanks to Pete and Anne. This is what we got. Good old Angry Cock. So apparently, this, if I put the old short lookers on, Angry Cock apple cider, alcoholic, 100% Yarra Valley apples, down Melbourne way. This is 1.3 standard drinks, which is 5% alcohol. Product by Angry Cock Cider Australia Proprietary Limited, 77 Monbulk, Saville Road, something east. What can east? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Righto. Let's pop the old lid off. Look at that. Smells like beer and cider all at the same time. Hey, that's a bit alright. Not too sweet. A lot of the times you get a cider and they over sweeten them, but that's got a bit of kick to it. I reckon that'll go down really well when that weather starts heating up. Cool, thanks again guys.
G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome to Man Cave Tuesday. Hope you all had a ripper week. What do we got going on in this video? Tools, 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 tool tube. We'll check out what Nay's up to in the woodshop. Bit of a special. Old Pete and Biker Bits Bones do a review on a jump starter kit. And BBQ Hamburgers. Righto, let's get into it. Rightio guys, I've got to explain something. Whenever you see me using, people have picked me up on this quite a few times and I keep forgetting to explain my stupidness behind it. So this is WD-40, but I refer to it as DW-40. Now it's not because I'm dyslexic, it's because I worked for Shell for 10 years, for Teeny Petroleum, which was the Shell distributor here in Bendigo and Kyneton and around the places. Shell had a product called DWF, and it was a dewatering fluid. So it's very similar stuff to this, I presume. And it's funnily enough, I thought I'd just have a quick look on the phone to see if I could find a picture of it. And I used to have a tin here of that stuff, but they obviously don't make it anymore. I couldn't find a picture, but I did happen to see there was one, a Castrol. Castrol had DWF. So that's where when I go, DWF, DW40, that's where that comes from. But yeah, whatever, there you go. Thought I'd explain it to you to get a laugh out of it. Rightio, back over to here, I've added tool tube remake. So remember I noticed there was all that water and bits and pieces and things rusting and going, how the hell is the water getting in here? I'll show you how. I noticed after that last ride, I lost my kickstand pad. So I got to make another one of those. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, the LED flasher relay. It was coming, then they refunded it, didn't tell me why. I've now reordered a different one from a different buyer, and they've given me a shipping date, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't refund that one and we get that as well. Cool. Righto, so this toolbox, I don't know if you can see down there's actually water pulled right down the bottom in there. I found out what has happened, and there it is there. Oh, can you see that? It's cracked. It's got a crack all the way, all the way along there. So I'm not too sure whether it's rocks coming up and hitting that, or whether it was all the tools that were in there and that constant jumping up and down, even though they were fairly tight in there, or it was a combination of both of those things. So I'm going to have to remake this whole thing and possibly make it different out of different material, like a thicker PVC. I'd like to get like that black stuff if I can. And I also might actually attach something underneath it, like a bit of metal somehow, I don't know. I'll have fun figuring it out, just to stop any rocks that are bloody hitting. 7 years, over 7 years that has lasted on that bike. And that's, doing it. Just, as you guys know, this bike only does adventure stuff. It's not a commuter. So I think that's pretty bloody good. Rightio guys, so for shits and giggles, this is all my tools that go in that tool tube. So if we chuck that on there, I get to use this. Look at that, 3.5, most probably 3.4 kilograms is what I'm carrying around in tools. So that'll be interesting to see whether I can get that weight down. I don't want to get rid of any of that stuff because all the stuff in here is useful, whether it's for me or other people that I ride with. Boom! And there you go, there is the finished product. Check that out. Bloody top shit. Rightio guys, I've just finished watching the AFL Grand Final. Bloody ripper game. Good old Tigers got up and won it. Really good. Right, now, today I went to Bunnings and I got all the stuff to remake this tool thing for the DR650. As you can see right on there, there's that big crack. That's where all that water got into it. This lasted a long time, so I'm happy just to replace it because it's very, very cheap to do it. I did say about wanting to get something that is a little thicker walled. You can get this PVC in a thicker wall, but unfortunately this is 90 millimeters in diameter. The thicker one, the closest I could get to it is the 100, and it's just too big. So I'm just going to do it exactly the same. I might look at putting maybe an extra piece over the bottom part just to protect it, but we'll see how we go. Now, one thing that I have done, look at that. That's got all my tools in it. So I wanted to, because it was always a pain in the backside trying to fit all this, feed it all in there. So now I just have this that goes in there. And of course now it's going to be a pain in the ass because it's not how I would normally do it. Get in there, you bugger. Ugh. Trust me, it does go in. I I've just got some material. Now, some people have said about, you know, they've watched me do this and they say I just use a tool roll to put all my, and just stick it in there. I tried to do that in the very first time that I did it. I couldn't even get my tool roll in there, like a decent sized one, let alone with all the tools that I carry. So that is just a single piece of fairly thin, if you look at that, fairly thin material. If you can see this, and that only just fits the stuff. It just by putting something like that in there, it just takes up so much more room. I have taken a few things out. I'm now going to carry that in my saddle bag because I just can't, using that, sorry guys, using this thing, I can't fit that in. And I've also removed this bead buddy, whatever it is, remove that out, and the valve puller Duvalaki. If you don't know what that is, when you've got your tyre off, you poke that through where the valve comes in through the rim, you poke that through, then while the tube's out, you screw that into the valve, and that helps guide the tube with the valve through the rim. It's just because, you know, you're normally mucking around. It's not a necessity, so it's going out as well. So what I'm going to do is just show you I've cleaned up all my tools. I'm going to lay them all out, just show you what I've got in there. Then I'm ready here to show you how I'm going to quickly make this. I've done a video of making this years and years ago. I only had a little bit of grey there. Anyway, righto, cool. Rightio guys, so I've set all these out. So this is for my Max DR650, and this is my DR650 with the bolts and bits and pieces. Now remember, I've modded stuff, so this is not a stock DR650, so don't look at what I've got. Some of it you will, but there will be little bits and pieces. I'm not going to go through detail, but you get an idea of what I carry, and this is not all that goes in here. So I'll just start with the stuff that's not in there. So I carry slime just in case if I can use slime to get myself out or back home and then deal with changing a tube, I will go the slime every time. But as we know, slime only works on smallish size punches, not if you get a tear, that ain't gonna do it. Right, so I got that. That is my walking stick thing for being able to jack up the back wheel or the front wheel up so I can get those wheels off and change things. So that just gets strapped to the bottom of the, the rear saddlebag mount. Just got you strapped on there. My Leatherman, so that has my screwdrivers, and if I need saws or pliers or whatever, that's all contained in that. That lives in the tank bag. That is what I check my tyres with, just an electronic gauge. That lives in my tank bag. And if I need to pump up tyres or whatever, especially for the rear, when you're at a servo or whatever, I just whack that on there and I can pump it up. Right, so I think that's, the rest of it is what lives in the toolbox I'm going to bring up on top. Rightio, so in no particular order, there is some fuel hose and little end joints. I've actually reduced the amount of zip ties, so there's small ones and long ones, 4 of each. I used to have more, but I've reduced it. Now, Allen keys. So this Allen key runs on this. So if I want to do it short, but if I've got one of those spots where, you know, you've got to get right in, I've got that like that. Now the way I carry these, it's like loading bullets into a gun. This is just a bit of PVC. I've cut it through there, and it just holds all these in there. Real nice, just like that. That's it, done deal. That is a spark plug remover, and the thing to go through that, this is all my sockets, well, all except one, because I have a little 8mm here which also has an adapter that goes on there, which then goes on there and gives me my 8mm. But the rest of my sockets are on here. I'll take that off. Important to have a spring washer because I don't know how many times this nut has come off and then all my things go everywhere. So this holds all my sockets, but it also becomes the tool that goes through there to be able to get my, what do you call it? What's the thing that goes in that? Spark plug. Cool. Done, so that's all packed up, put that away. And of course I have these 3 things that works with those. And also those Allen keys. So I have 3 tyre levers. You can get away with 2. 3 is, I find, makes it a whole lot easier. And then of course these 2, that's the rear tyre, rear axle, front axle, boom, boom, done. Now what do we got here? 14, a 17, a 10 and a 12 spanners, common bloody bolts. And then a shifter for all the ones that I don't have. Then we've got a chain breaker. And you can use this, well in actual fact use this to put I carry a master link, and I've found that I have to use this to be able to put that on. I've got a puncher kick. And this is a bit of a double up because I actually have another one of those, but I don't really need it. But that gives me everything, you know, the glue, the patches, the removal tool, spare valves, spare caps, the little scratchy thing for doing on the stuff. These you've got to watch out for. After you've got to check them so you can just see that this silver stuff is starting to wear away. This is still okay, but eventually just vibration ends up stuffing them up. Bit of emery paper, or whatever you call that. The quick steel. You know, it's only small, so I'll whack it in there. But if I needed to, you know, check the gap on a spark plug, I can do it with that. That is some duct tape. There is some spare fuses, and obviously the bike by stock has a couple of spare fuses on it. And that was just that 8mm socket that goes in there. And then I have this pillowcase slip, which is what I use. I normally, when I open up the toolbox, this is the first thing in there. I lay that down on the ground, and then as I'm pulling out the stuff, I make sure all my tools go on this. And the reason why I do that is because if you're out on the track, you put it on these things can get lost very easily, but by having it on this white thing, all my tools are kept decently clean and I know where they are and I can pack them all back up. Sorry guys, the other tool that I do have is the mini air compressor. This sits on the front fender, just held on with these gotcha straps. Have it in this molly bag thing, which is then in a Ziploc bag. Grab that out of there, which is in another. This is the actual bag of the, and there it is. That's the stop and go mini air compressor. Done. Right, so that's, you know, that's a really good amount of tools to be carrying around on your bike, I reckon, but it's not comprehensive by any stretch of the imagination. Right, let's have a look at making this toolbox. So 90mm PVC pipe, there's my mark. So from there to there is 44 centimeters. I have got a end cap, 90mm to fit there. I have this piece here, 90mm screw, so it basically turns the end. That just goes over that. There's the cap. Now I've noticed that the cap this time is actually different. This one's got a rubber seal, whereas my old one doesn't have it, and it never had it. There was never a problem. This worked. I never got any moisture in. It was only until I got that crack. So, you know, if you get one of these caps that don't have that O-ring, I don't think I'd be too fussed about it. So then that will then go on there. Obviously some blue goo to stick everything together. Some black paint. They didn't have the Rust-Oleum, I had to get this stuff, so I had to get 2 cans to which will spray all that. Now, once that's done, and obviously you can just cut that with a hacksaw, I will now cut it with the saw thing over there. I thought I'd get these. I've still got the originals, so these are the original, and they're still okay, but I just thought, oh, I should get some new ones just in case there is some fatigue in these. But what I didn't realise when I bought these, see how these are short? When I got these ones, they were all long like that. I've cut these ones off. So these two go down the rear end, which attach to, what are they attached to? Oh, they attach to the existing where the stock toolbox was connected. And then that one connects just up the front, I think on, what is it going? I think it's on the, I don't know, it's on something down there. So these, yeah, so this one's got a long. When you buy this, these are bent out like that and up or something, some funny thing, and I just straightened them out. So I'm going to have to use this old one, and I'll have those two new. Cool bananas, that's it, that's what I'm doing. Ah, hello. He's having a bath. Little sleepy dog. We gonna have a bath?
What do you reckon? Good idea? Bet you don't think so. Is that good, folks? How's that? Look, she's a little puppy again. Oh, does that feel good?
Puppy. Hello. Feel better? Yeah, you do.
Rightio guys, so where are we up to at the moment? Always I bloody start working on Max and then I have to service the inside radio, the heater thing, got all that bloody working. Then the light bloody switch on this does, you can press it, turn it on, but it won't stay on. It's something's gone a bloody miss in that. So that's the over the oven bloody thing. Then we get last night we get a KLR 650 turn up. So yeah, bloody crazy. All right, where are we? Here we go. That's it. That is the dealio. All painted. The brackets. Hang on. Right, so fully painted with the squirts, spray paint. It says it's for plastic. Don't know how good it's going to go. Any of the plastic paint, they say 7 days to fully cure onto plastic, whereas it's normally, I don't know, 24, 48 hours and it's pretty well sweet on anything else. Can't remember what I used on the old one, whether it was Rust-Oleum or not, but I remember I sprayed it on, I didn't rough it up, so I believe it's the Rust-Oleum. A lot of the stuff that I've used, Rust-Oleum on plastic, it just works really, really well. Other ones, I've just, you know, it always starts to crack off. And as you can see, it's held up pretty good for not doing a proper prep job on this. It's only where the brackets were, and then obviously that, you know, the stains hitting it and all that kind of stuff. Even the, I mean, that's all dirty. But just you can see on the edges there, it's cracked off. But that's because this was close to the guard, and when I'd be undoing it or doing it up, it'd nick it all the time. Now, I made a little bit of a change. I used epoxy and put a nut on there with a bit of a wire, and the wire would wrap around my blinker, and that would just stop that from going undone. There are lots of ways that you can do it. I've opted to go the shitty, easy way. What I've done is I've created a little mount here like that. There is an O-ring there, so it's all sealed. This is actually a 5mm bolt. I drilled a 5mm hole, and that actually got screwed in, so it's a really tight fit, plus that O-ring. And then it's just like a screw, very flat, so it's not going to get in the way of anything. Then on this, all I did was put that on there, a little bolt there, and the wire. So it's just a shitty wire, but basically, that means I don't have to have that wire hanging around the blinker. So that'll just tie up like that, and then I can just wrap that around, you know, boom, that ain't gonna come off. So that's a done deal. That I think is going to work really well, just to add that extra protection to the thin wall. These two and the long one. Now I've already noticed that the paint's already chipping on these. And this is the beauty, yeah, so I don't know if you can see that. It's already started to chip. So I don't know how the paint's going to hold up on this, but we'll see. Can always take it off and repaint it again. So that is a job done, I think. Yes, bloody ripper. Right, so I'm not going to mount that on there. I'm going to at least wait the 7 days. Plus I've got a lot of other bits and pieces that I'm going to do to it, so it'll just sit there ready to go on. I can mark that off my board as a job done. Now, something with the tools that I forgot to tell you was I should have mentioned this, which is, because it is a tool. It's a tool to get your bloody self started if your battery is flat. And it is just my old, I've done a review on this. It's just a typical power bank. It's got the cable to bloody charge it up and charge your phone if you want to charge your phone out of that. It's called an Anki bloody whatever, has a torch, rah rah rah. So I carry that in my pannier bag. Righto, done. Now I think good old Pete and Bones, he's got one of these things and he's doing a review on it. Check him out.
G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome to another Biker Bits Bones video. Now tonight I'm doing a review on the Motor Presser Jump Starter, 300 amp. Let's have a look at it. Okay, just hang on a second. Before we crack it open, let's have a look. I've just turned the box around. We've got a few of the stats here for the charger. So let's have a look at this. So initially it says the jump starter there. It's got a battery capacity of 7,500 milliampere hours. It's also got a starting current of 300 amps, a peak current of 400 amps, and a charging time of 3 to 5 hours. Down below that's accessory charger, just down here. It's got an output USB of 5 volt and 1 amp, and also a 5 volt and 2.1 amps. It says it will charge your mobile phone 2 to 3 times and tablets 1 to 3 times depending on the size of the battery in the device. And just over onto the right hand side here, what's inside. And it says Motor Presser Jump Starter, jumper leads, 2-in-1 USB accessory charger and a 240 volt wall charger. Wow. And then what do we got down there? Applications. Okay, let's have a look at that. So down below the applications, this jump starter will start motorcycles, watercraft, UTVs. Okay, well that's what I bought it for. And down the bottom there it says designed in Australia, and the fine print down there says made in China. So this is a Rocky Creek Designs product. So now let's crack it open. Okay, let's get this open. There we go. Let's have a look inside. We'll just pull this out here. There's the carry case right there. Okay. Okay, as you can see, it comes with its own little carry case there. It's just a zipper that does. So it just opens up like this. Got the various leads in there, and then just underneath this flap here, yeah, you can see the jump starter right there. Okay, so there's the bits there, and you know, as we saw on the front of the box, that's what you get. So you've got your main jumper leads there. You've got the 240 volt power lead there, and this is the lead that you can use to either charge your phone or even charge the unit itself with this lead as well. So yeah, pretty simple. So let's have a look at the jump starter itself. Okay, so here's a close-up of the one end of the jump starter. You've got your LED light there, you've got your 2 USBs, also your 5 volt input there, and the 240 volt charging there. And under this flap here is where the jumper leads plug into. Okay, we're just looking at the side of the unit there, and you can see the power button there, and there's just 4 little LED lights there. I suppose that just shows you yeah, the charge rate of this unit. So can I have a hand, someone? Oh, there's a hand. Okay, hand, just push the, I suppose, the power button. And there you go. Saying four lights there, so it's fully charged. And by holding this button in, it activates the LED torch. We'll hold it in for 3 seconds, I think it says. So then so there's the torch, and by pushing it again, you get a strobe effect. Oh wow, freaky! And push it again, and you get the SOS. So you get the 3 dots and 3 dashes thing happening there. And actually, let's see how I glow in the dark. Oh, scary. And abracadabra, and hey presto. Okay, I've got the seat off the DR, I've got the battery jump starter just sitting there. We just got to hook it up now, so let's do that. Okay, negatives on. Okay, so positives on, negatives on. She's all hooked up. Rightio, let's give it a shot. Well, I'm going to need a hand. There's a hand. Woohoo! Woohoo! Success! Now, recently Mark was talking about jump starting the DR650, and someone commented on that you can actually hook up a jump starter straight to the relay, so you don't have to remove the seat, you just remove the side cover there, hook up the jump starter to the positive on the relay there, and I've just got it hooked up to the frame down here on the negative, and the jump starter's just down there. But hooking it up this way is another way of doing it, and it works great. Rightio guys, well, that's the finish of the video. Now, I just bought this thing on an impulse, really didn't do any homework on it. There's a whole stack of jump starters out there on the market, so yeah, do your homework, do some research, see which one suits you best. This one works fine. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.
Rightio guys, so we saw good old Pete with Bones. He took that different way of, I saw the same comment that Pete saw. Pete's actually beat me to it. And so I just wanted to have a look at it. So what he was, it's underneath this thing. This apparently pops off somehow. I don't know how does that just, oh geez, oh yeah, maybe. Oh. Oh, that's a bit bloody. Oh, it's getting caught right on that bloody, this is not a stock seat, obviously. Oh, that's a real shit, isn't it? Oh, there you go. Righto, so we've got, obviously, that one there's negative, that one there is positive. So if I grab my little tool, and if I hook onto here, like that, get that up in the shot for you guys, and then just touch, there, look at that. Anywhere, see, obviously that's painted, has to be somewhere that doesn't have paint on it. So any of your bolt heads, booyah. Now, why can you do it from there? And the reason is that these are very thick wires that lead directly to the battery. So that's why you can do it from here and not doing it from like, you know, when you have a little wire there with your a wire like, what the hell are you trying to say, Mark? Like to do trickle feed to your battery, or you've got some accessory wire that hooks into your heated jacket or something like that. They're only very thin wires. So if you try and jump through one of those wires, what's going to happen is that bloody, yeah, it's all right. You'll burn those wires. Too much current for those little wires. So you never ever use like a battery tender wire or something like that. Has to be a thick wire to do it. So just something to keep in the old memory bank. Guys, I was just having a real trouble getting this bloody thing back on there, but I've just figured it out and I just wanted to show you. So this thing, there's two little, I thought they were all, you know, rooted, but it just does a click and then you just lift up like that. And then put it back on, because I was thinking, geez, this is harder than the other one, and then put it back on, that's it. Done. Rightio, let's start cooking.
Hey, hamburgers in the backyard with an angry cock. Not too bloody shabby.
Righto, just a quick shout out to all the crew members. Thank you guys for your your support. It's you're bloody legends. Now, especially for the Melbourne crew, 2 weeks, I believe, and you guys are going to be out of that steel rim of bloody Dan's bullshit. So we might have to organise some type of ride or something like that. I don't know, do something to celebrate your unlocking. Now, I haven't done the new crew members. I haven't done credits. I haven't done the crew out and about. And I just received this. It came like this. So I'll get that. That's a sticker for the sticker board. I'll get that done all next week. Brilliant. Well, there you go, guys. That is Man Cave Tuesday done and dusted for another week. Hope you all enjoyed it. Right, now, some of you guys will be going, where the hell is that video of the Pyrenees jaunt? Well, yesterday I finished. I got to the end of all the footage and I went, shit, 2 hours. I've got to cut that back. So there's a lot of footage. So I've now got to go back to the beginning and see what I can cut out just to bring that time back. I think 2 hours is a little bit too bloody long. But anyway, it will be out before the end of this week for sure. Hopefully, I think, yes, it should be. It will be. Rightio, guys, remember, keep on riding, and if you ain't riding, keep on keeping on.